Okay, so my friend Maverick just got back from Spain. He was studying abroad.
Yeah, I lived in Spain for a little over a month, studying Spanish. And, I don't know. Spain is very different than the United States for multiple reasons, but,
Communist.
socialists, there's a fine line. But, I found out that socialist healthcare absolutely sucks. It only took 2 doctor's visits and a hippie, ritualistic medicine treatment to get me over the screaming for a solid week. I thought I was going to die. No, all in all, it was a pretty good trip.
Anything you want to elaborate on?
Well, I mean, there was plenty to do during the trip, but something that just kind of sticks out to me is one night, it wasn't very much farther after I'd got into the city. Somebody said, hey, let's go to the discoteca. Now, I don't know, where we live in the middle of nowhere, Texas, there really aren't discotecas, and if there are, I'm not going to go to them. But in Spain, I was all about it.
Is that basically like a club?
A nightclub on steroids.
Oh, Lord.
Our friends said, okay, well, we're gonna pregame at this little bar and just have a couple of drinks, and then we'll walk to the big bar. Well, I'd been to the big bar before, and I knew that it wasn't anywhere close to anything. But I didn't think anything of it. And so we all met up at this little bar, and we were sitting having our drinks and having a good time. And I'm just going to say this. I'm pretty sure that it's a law in Spain that if you adopt a little girl from China, you have to name her Paula. Because every Chinese girl that we met in Spain that was adopted was named Paula. But we were in Spain, and Paula, well, one of them, Paula that I knew, was nuts. Like, the lady actually terrified the shit out of me. And she said, okay, well, it's time to go to the club. The club's name is La Nuit. And so we were all ready to go. And she said, well, we could take the long way, and that's 20 minutes, or we could take the shortcut, and that's 5. And we all thought, hell yeah, we're taking the shortcut.
That always sounds like a good idea.
Well, she neglected to mention that the shortcut was right through the middle of a hobo village in the middle of Spain. So she said, okay, well, watch your step. There's hobo shit on the floor. And I thought, are you kidding? I was 3 sheets to the wind already, but I wasn't comfortable with the situation at all. And we were walking down this steep ass hill to get to the bottom of the hobo village. And I'm carrying somebody, and I probably shouldn't have been, but her heels were really tall, and she didn't want to fall and break her ankle. Actually happens later, but we'll get to that in a minute. And so we're walking down there, and everybody's freaked out, and we're in the middle of the woods in the center of a city in Spain. And so we jump up we get to this wall, and there's a little culvert under it, like a hole. And we say, so do we have to crawl under there? And she said, you can, but that's where the hobos sleep. And I said, well, we're just not going to do that then. And so we had to scale.
Wasn't there like needles there?
Oh yeah, needles, and like it was where the druggies would throw their needles. And so I wouldn't have gone down there if my life actually depended on it. So we had to scale this. It was a good 8-foot wall, and my fat drunk was not about to do it easily. So after I finally shimmied up the top and got up there, somehow I got in charge of having to pull everybody up. Now, mind you, I've had plenty vodka sodas, so I'm over here having to help everybody up, and Paula's just the entire time because we're not going very slow, and we're just being grade A bitch about the whole thing. Like, I cannot believe that you do not enjoy this. We're getting there much quicker. No, it was fine, and then we finally got everybody up on the wall, and we thought, oh, the worst is behind us. Wrong. So we look around, and we find out that we were on the interstate of Spain, just walking on the friggin' middle of the road. Well, Paula, the Spanish girl that we were with, was wearing heels that were probably about 2 feet tall. They were ridiculously tall. Well, she says, okay, it's time to go. She takes 1 step off of the curb to cross the main interstate, twists her ankle, breaks that son of a bitch, and then just falls in the middle of the street. So we're trying to like pick her up, and she's screaming bloody murder like, don't touch me, I'm dying, with a fucking semi-truck coming right down the road. And she said, I will be fine. You will be dead in 2 seconds if we don't move you. So we finally got her pulled up, and she says, I think I'm fine. And we look down, and her fucking ankle is turning purple. So naturally, we did what the responsible students would do, and she just traded shoes with another girl in the group, and we kept walking, and she just kind of limped. Well, after we crossed the metropolitan interstate system of Spain, we finally ended up at the bar. And at the discoteca, the discoteca is massive, but the real party goes on outside in the parking lot. It's a massive parking lot party. So, somehow, the one person who I thought shouldn't have bought the liquor that night to pregame outside the club ended up buying the liquor, and she bought the shittiest bottle of whiskey and the nastiest bottle of vodka I've ever seen. Like, it was in a plastic bottle.
That's the good giveaway right there.
Yeah, it was in a plastic bottle, and she thought it was cheap. Well, there's 20 of us splitting this. It wouldn't have been much more expensive to get the good And so we ended up drinking it and surviving, and Paula's ankle's hurting. So she just
drink away the pain.
No, she can't drink. She takes pills that if she takes one,
oh yeah, I remember this.
She'll have an aneurysm and die. And so she just stays away from alcohol. She smokes like a train though. So her ankle hurts, and she just decides that she's going to sit in some random person's car in the parking lot. So she just sits in the parking lot, and then out of nowhere, somebody tries to pull her into their car. So she turns around, breaks their nose with her elbow, gets out of the car, and we walk into the club like nothing ever happened. And so we had a great time at the club, but that's I think the most vivid memory from Spain.